having come on here yesterday or the day before and said, it's not all about this unboxings and things, and publication day flowers and whatever. And what do I have to do in the post today? Another box to unbox. I don't know what's in here. I have unstuck it, but only to not faff about while I'm actually recording. So I'll open this now and see what it is. It says it's from Alverscroft, large print books, but I don't have a large print coming that I'm aware of. So let's have a look inside and see. Oh, okay. Right, well, exciting. So last week I posted a double unboxing, and one of those things was for my what is it called? I can't remember what books are called anymore. Second Chances at Hollyhock Farm. That's book 2. This is book 3 that came out about a month ago, and this is Love Blooms at Hollyhock Farm. Isn't that lovely? So this is the CD, because it's very thin, that I will keep, because obviously it's easy to store and looks nice in my bookcase. These are very thick, and these I give to my main library in town here in St Helier. So this is lovely, isn't it? I do love this bright colour. I love all the colours of this series. So Love Blooms at Hollyhock Farm. So that's what my unboxing is. So that's very exciting. You always get loads of paperwork and stuff with it. So that's nice. So I think I have the full set so far. Obviously I have the last book to come out. That comes out in November. I don't know the title yet. This one is about Callum. So Callum is the DJ and part-time model that you'll have met in book 2, I think. Yes, in book 2. It's him, and it's this young girl called Sky. This woman called Sky. No, it's not Sky. Sky's from book 3. This is Tasha. Sorry, I get so confused. So, because on the one hand, you're promoting the book that's just come out, and on the other hand, you're writing the book that's going to come out later in the year. So it gets a little bit confusing. This is my 31st book. So I do get a bit confused. I think, what was the name of that person? Because there's a lot of names, as you can imagine. So Tasha, she is an assistant, so like a personal assistant to this actor who's on the island recording a TV series. Now, I came up with this idea long before I realised that they were re-filming Bergerac. I saw one of the old Bergerac with John Nettles on television the other day. Apparently it's called like Classic Bergerac. This new Bergerac with, I can't remember the chap's name, but he's a really lovely author. I think he was in Brassica and a few other things. And so I'd come up with the idea of this difficult actor and because of course when you have a series, you need to come up with obviously what the series is going to be. And with my editor, and we discussed it, and yes, that's what we're going to do, and various different things. So it's not in any way, shape or form based on the actor who plays Bergerac or on the Bergerac thing. This is a completely different thing. He's a chap that causes quite a lot of trouble, the chap in my story, whose name at the moment is Riley Sharp. So, and he quite likes Callum's younger sister, Libby. Yes, so there's lots of things happening. So right now I'm working on that. And yes, I've got to press on and do that today. So having said in my short yesterday or the day before that it's not all about parties. There was a Boldwood party last night in London, Fulham Palace. I would have loved to have gone, but I have so much going on at home in my personal life with dogs and family and stuff like that. For example, today my dad is 89. He's a lovely chap, and 54 years ago today, him and his best friend survived a plane crash. It was a private plane, and they crashed off the coast of France. And what happened was they were flying 2 pilots over from Jersey to France to collect their own plane, and on the way back their plane had engine failure and ditched in the sea. And he said when you hit the sea, it's like hitting a brick wall. And thankfully this other aircraft circled for as long as they could to try and keep, I suppose, the coordinates where they were. This was 1971. I was 10. And they took a while to find them, but they did find them. And obviously if we're celebrating the anniversary, I guess. And he was taken to France because obviously it was off the coast of France. And I was talking with him this morning, and we were laughing, and he remembered that when the rescuers took them to wherever they took them to, got them checked over and said, would they like a drink, meaning possibly brandy or something like that. They thought it was hilarious that these English guys, les Anglais or whatever, wanted cups of tea, which is typical of my dad. And to be fair, would be typical of me to be, I would have to have a cup of tea. So yes, so they survived. We were very lucky that they survived. And then a few days later, the press came over from England to take photos of both wives and children standing. I remember it was a very sunny day, and was standing in the garden, and I don't remember getting any warning. I was wearing this little summer dress, so it must have been a very warm summer, and these sandals that my feet were slightly too big for, and looked a right mess. And even though I was 10, I remember thinking it looked dreadful. And the awful thing about it was, my bedroom, my sister and I shared a bedroom at that time, and it was just slightly up the hall from the front door. And the family thought, obviously us children were asleep, my sister was. I was awake, and I could hear the phone calls. I could hear my grandmother coming in, devastated that her son has crashed. What's happened to him? They didn't know. I mean, it was 1971, so, things weren't as immediate as they are now. My dad's brother, who's died long ago now. Obviously my mum. And yes, so it was a very traumatic night for 10-year-old me. But I've been grateful ever since. I have been able to celebrate. My father gave me away at 2 weddings, lots of New Year's Eves and lots of birthdays and lots of celebratory times and lots of experiences. I'm really, really grateful for that. So it was lovely. I went to see him this morning. Every year I remember the anniversary, probably because it was so traumatic for me, I couldn't forget. And I've always sent him a card if I couldn't see him. Most of the time I can see him. So obviously I went and saw him today, and he's 89 now, bless him. So he initially didn't remember, and then he was remembering all sorts of details, like having the cup of tea and that sort of thing. So yeah, I feel very lucky to have been able to actually spend the anniversary and see him. So that was lovely. So that's been my day. The rest of my day is going to be typing and carrying on with this book. So I'd better get on and do it. So thank you very much for joining me. I've got my Liberation Day mug here with me today. Yes, another mug. Oh, nice mug. Lovely cup of tea. Yes, it runs in the family. Obviously, they're having to drink cups of tea. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. I've got a busy few days with various things happening. I'm meeting a lovely friend for coffee tomorrow, Gwyn Bennett, another author. I'm actually listening to one of her books. She's written a couple of series, but one of them is the House and Lane series, and I'm listening to book 5. I think it's called Perfect Beauties on my audiobook. Absolutely brilliant. Love the narrator. Narrators matter a lot to me. If you haven't looked up her books, Gwyn Bennett, and the House and Lane books, she also did different ones as well. Look up her books, but these are fantastic. How this series, I think it's a series of 12, this series. House and Lane to me is like a young Tom Hardy. In my head, that's who he is. And it's just brilliant. Her writing is so clean and to the point. It's brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. How this isn't a Netflix series now, I really don't know. But absolutely love them. If you love audiobooks or reading books, I listen to an audiobook. Yeah, that's my recommendation for this week, most definitely. And I know after this one, I'll go on to the next one, so on and so forth. So I better get on now. Thank you for joining me, and I look forward to chatting to you again next week. Have a lovely rest of your week. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do subscribe, and please leave a comment if you wish to. Thank you very much.